The snow fell thick and silent outside the windows of the small two-room apartment on the edge of the city, blanketing the world in a hush that made the laughter inside feel even louder, sharper. Svetlana wiped her hands on the frayed apron she'd worn since morning and carried another platter of sliced sausage and cheese into the living room. The table was already groaning under salads, herring under fur coat, Olivier piled high like a snowy mountain, bottles of champagne and vodka sweating in the warmth. Her mother-in-law, Valentina Ivanovna, sat at the head like a queen on her throne, cheeks flushed from the second glass of sparkling wine she'd poured herself. Around her clustered her sister, two cousins, a nephew with his loud girlfriend, and Dmitri, Svetlana's husband, perched on the arm of the sofa, laughing along with them all. "Hey, monkey! Come on, New Year's almost here, sit at the table already," Valentina Ivanovna called out, waving a manicured hand. The room erupted in chuckles. The nephew slapped his knee. The girlfriend covered her mouth but couldn't hide the smirk. Svetlana froze for half a second in the doorway, plate still in her hands. She had heard variations of this joke for 4 years now, ever since she married Dmitri and moved into this apartment that technically belonged to his mother. Monkey because her dark hair was curly and wild when she didn't pin it back. Monkey because she was from a village 200 kilometers away, where people supposedly still climb trees instead of using ladders. Monkey because Valentina Ivanovna liked reminding everyone that her son could have done better than a quiet girl who worked as a seamstress in a tiny atelier and didn't know how to properly set a festive table. Svetlana forced a small smile, the kind she'd perfected over time, tight, polite, invisible. She set the plate down between the bowl of mandarins and the crystal bowl of pickled mushrooms. "Coming, Valentina Ivanovna," she said softly. "Oh, don't rush, dear. We wouldn't want you to spill anything on the new tablecloth. You know how clumsy our little monkey can be." Another wave of laughter. Dmitri caught her eye for a moment. He gave a half shrug, the same shrug he always gave when his mother went too far. It said, "It's just words, sweeter. Don't make a scene. It's New Year's." She turned back to the kitchen. The clock on the wall showed 23:17. Less than an hour until midnight. Her phone lay face down on the counter beside the half-peeled potatoes she'd finished earlier. It had been silent all evening. She opened the refrigerator to pull out the chilled bottle of Soviet champagne Dmitri had bought on sale. Her reflection stared back at her from the shiny door, tired eyes, hair escaping its bun, apron stained with beet juice. She looked older than 29. Behind her, the laughter swelled again. Someone had started telling the story about how Valentina Ivanovna once chased a stray dog out of the yard with a broom while wearing only a nightgown. They were all so comfortable here, so sure of their place. Svetlana was the hired help who never got paid. She closed the fridge door harder than necessary. At 23:32, the phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. Unknown number, but the prefix was familiar, international, from Germany. Her heart gave a strange, sudden thud. She stepped into the narrow hallway, away from the noise, and answered. "Hello." A man's voice, calm and slightly accented. "Svetlana Petrovna." "Yes, who's calling?" "This is Herr Klaus Berger from Berger and So Notariat in Munich. I apologize for the late hour, but the matter is urgent and concerns an inheritance that cannot wait until after the holidays." Svetlana pressed the phone tighter to her ear. "Inheritance? There must be some mistake. I don't know anyone in Germany. Your late great-aunt, Emilia Karlovna Weiss, maiden name Petrova. She passed away 3 weeks ago. You are named in her will as the primary beneficiary. She left instructions that you be contacted immediately upon probate opening. Emilia." The name hit like cold water. Svetlana's grandmother had once mentioned a sister who left for Germany after the war, married a German engineer, never came back. They had lost touch decades ago. Svetlana had assumed the woman was long dead, childless, forgotten. I didn't even know she was still alive," Svetlana whispered. "She was 94. Quite sharp until the end. She followed your life from afar, through letters your grandmother sent years ago, and later through social media. She knew you married, knew you had no children yet, knew you worked with your hands. She said you reminded her of herself at your age. Svetlana leaned against the wall. The hallway smelled faintly of mothballs and old carpet. What did she leave? A considerable estate. The apartment in Munich, 3 bedrooms, city centre. Liquid assets amounting to approximately €1,800,000 after taxes. Some jewelry, a collection of antique clocks. And a letter addressed to you personally. The numbers refused to settle in her mind. €1,800,000. Are you certain this is me? She asked, voice trembling. We verified through documents your grandmother left with a Moscow notary in 1998. Birth records, family tree excerpts. It's you, Svetlana Petrovna. Congratulations. She laughed, a short, disbelieving sound that turned into something closer to a sob. Thank you, she managed. I'll need time to process this. Of course. My office will send all documents tomorrow morning via courier and email. Happy New Year, Frau Weiss. Or should I say, soon to be Frau Weiss again, perhaps. He hung up gently. Svetlana stood there, phone still pressed to her cheek, until the screen went dark. When she walked back into the living room, the clock read 23:48. The TV was on, counting down to midnight in Red Square. Everyone was gathered around the table now, glasses raised. Valentina Ivanovna spotted her first. Well, finally. Monkey's here. Come, sit in the corner so you don't block the TV. The laughter rose again. Svetlana didn't move. She looked at Dmitri. He was smiling, expectant, waiting for her to play along like always. She set her phone down on the sideboard, screen up. The call log still showed the Munich number. I'm not sitting, she said quietly. The room quieted a fraction. What? Valentina Ivanovna snorted. Don't start your moods now. It's New Year's. Svetlana met her mother-in-law's eyes. For the first time in 4 years, she didn't look away. I just received a phone call, she said. From Germany. My great-aunt died. She left me everything she had. Almost €2 million. An apartment in Munich. Enough that I never have to wash another plate in this house if I don't want to. Silence fell like snow, thick, complete. Dmitri's smile faltered. Sweeter, what? Valentina Ivanovna laughed once, sharply. Oh, come on. Some scam. You think we're fools? Who calls on New Year's Eve with millions? It wasn't a scam, Svetlana said. The notary's name is Klausberger. Documents are coming tomorrow. You can check. The nephew muttered something about fake calls from abroad. But Dmitri was staring at her now, really staring. You're serious? She nodded. Valentina Ivanovna pushed back her chair. Even if it's true, which I doubt, what does that change? You think money makes you better than us? You'll still be the same village girl who... Valentina Ivanovna, Svetlana interrupted, calm now, almost gentle. I'm not better. I'm just done. She untied her apron, folded it neatly, and placed it on the nearest chair. I'm leaving tonight. With or without Dmitri. Dmitri stood up so fast the champagne glasses rattled. Sweeter, wait. No, she said. You've waited for years to stand up for me. I'm not waiting anymore. She walked to the bedroom, pulled her small suitcase from under the bed, the one she kept packed for the rare visits to her parents. She took only what mattered, her sewing kit, the old photo album, 3 changes of clothes, her passport. When she returned to the living room, the TV was showing the Kremlin chimes. 10 seconds to midnight. Valentina Ivanovna had gone red in the face. You ungrateful little, after everything we've done for you. Svetlana paused at the door. You fed me scraps and called me monkey. That's not doing. That's humiliating. She looked at Dmitri one last time. If you want to come, come. If not, Happy New Year. The chimes struck 12. Fireworks exploded outside. Someone on TV shouted, Happy New Year. Svetlana opened the door. Cold air rushed in, carrying snowflakes. She stepped out. Behind her, the room stayed frozen. No one followed immediately. She walked down the stairwell, suitcase bumping against her leg. Her phone buzzed again, another call from Munich, probably confirming details. She didn't answer yet. Outside, the street was alive with light and sound. Neighbors hugged, kissed, raised glasses on balconies. Svetlana stood under a street lamp, snow collecting in her hair, and breathed. For the first time in years, she felt tall. A minute later, footsteps pounded behind her. Dmitri appeared, coat half on, no scarf, eyes wide. "Sweeter. I'm coming. If you'll have me." She stood at him. The boy she'd loved at 23 was still there, buried under layers of habit and fear. "We'll see," she said. "First, we need to talk. Really talk. No more shrugs." He nodded, swallowing hard. They walked together toward the main road to catch a taxi. The city glittered around them, new year, new chances. In the morning, documents would arrive. Lawyers would call. Decisions would be made, Munich or somewhere else, together or apart. But right now, under the falling snow, Svetlana felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Free. And the word monkey echoed somewhere far behind her, growing smaller with every step.